You are listening to Maneza F8.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Welcome to FKU Africa Podcast. This is your host, Maneza F8, coming to you in Worcester in the Western Cape of South Africa. So yeah, man, I don't know if you were watching or you have heard about this Pan-African Parliament. So some of you might not even know that there's such a thing that is Pan-African Parliament. I do have a video that is describing what is a Pan-Africanism, and how it is being a Pan-Africanist. So there's this group of Africans, the unions, that are advocating for Africans to have their own voice in the African country, that are trying to protect Africans from being exploited by these other parties that has been involved in the oppression of Africans for the many years before. So this Pan-African Parliament started in the 18th of March 2004. It has been holding annual events after 4 years, holding the parliaments and having feedback of what have been busy doing. The current president now is Bouazi Jamal, who's been a president since 2020, and his vice president is Chief Churumbira, Chief FZ Churumbira. So uh, this week, right? I think Monday or Tuesday, they had their own parliament that was taking place. Yo, man, it was chaos, a pure chaos. What was happening there? It was a pure embarrassment. That's what I can say. Is what was an embarrassment, man. But I can't really say it was an embarrassment, but it was something that needed to happen. It needed to happen for the future of Pan Africans who are in that parliament, so that they can all benefit. Because the reason that chaos that broke out in there is because they are the people who are now in charge of that parliament, who are in the cabinet, are the people from West Africa. So people from North Africa and East and Southern Africa, they are fighting for that parliament to change their rules, which their rules are not willing to rotate the governance, so that if someone who's in governance now is in West Africa, in the next elections, West Africa should be eliminated by default, so that elections will take place between North Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, and Southern Africa. So this is what they were fighting for at that point. But the guys who were in charge since the organization has started. The guys who are in charge, they've been guys from West Africa, which were fall under France. So there is this video that uh, is been summarized from the 5 hours videos that it's in the Parliament YouTube site. You can go in and watch it. I'll leave the link in there. But Leo, I give thanks to the guy. Give his flowers. He's got a great channel that you can support. Leo Sport. I'll also give this video in the description, the link, so that you can just check it out. So let's watch here and see what is really happening here. How did it start and how did it end up the way it was at the end?
By the Committee on Rules. I will then leave this chair and invite Honorable Jatta to come and chair as I then present the report. Honorable Jatta, come and chair.
Monsieur President.
Point of order. Point of order.
Honorable Roger.
Okay, so let me just explain one thing. You will hear a lot of Germany, no French language being used. Most West African countries, they are still using French because they were colonized by French. So most of them, they use French as a language. So it's being translated throughout the video. So just bear with that and make sure that you understand what is happening.
Honorable President, I'd like to thank you for giving me a chance to speak. I want that this August Assembly bears me witness. On Monday, I raised an issue which is a legal problem. It's not a political one. In all our parliaments, the Bureau does not have the vocation to extend its mandate. And in all parliaments, all decisions made by commissions are validated by the parliament. Today, yes, we recognize that there's a force majeure or act of God. So, the bureau to which you belong, you are not elected as president of that bureau. The bureau was elected on the 10th of May 2018, and our mandate ended on the 9th of May 2021. So, but you're still sitting on the bureau, and you're not explaining to plenary what happened. And even if you explained what happened, Honorable President, this is our Bible. There is no article in our rules that says that the Bureau can extend its mandate. And from now, I'd like you to resign from the Bureau. To extend the mandate, it is the elected Bureau's mandate that would be extended. I'm not politicking, but I'm applying the law. And I'm requesting the resignation of the President, Chief Charumbira.
I'm on the floor.
Hello, that is...
That's Julius Malema from South Africa.
Proceed, Honorable Malema.
Thank you very much. I don't think there is any difficulty here. We must all be inspired by the need to build this institution and not be driven by a desire to govern this institution from the grave. You are here to give a report, and that report will tell us as to what really transpired. We cannot, even before we get a report of where are we, where do we come from, what happened before, then be told that people must be dissolved without being taken through as to what transpired. The report you are about to present will tell us about the state of the Bureau. Exactly. And on the basis of that report, then take a decision that you must all step down. So even if the term ended on the 9th of May, that is just being technical and being in an attempt to collapse these proceedings, which is uncalled for. So the Bureau's term has ended. We are going to elect the new leadership. What is this impatience about? He's acting. He never claimed to be a president of this institution. That's why he calls himself an acting president. He accepts that he's not the president of this institution. So we're not going to be bullied here by people who want to run this institution from the grave. Give the report, and after giving the report, outline what's going to happen to the election. The elections are going to happen. Whether they get dissolved now, whether they get dissolved on Monday, it's immaterial. We are going to elect new leadership here. Let them report. Thank you, Chair.
An interest. Honorable Roger, can you allow others also to take the floor?
No. He's not going to speak. You are not going to speak alone here, Roger. You are not going to do that. This is not your parliament. You are not going to do that.
Roger, you don't make yourself a parliament.
Mr. President.
You have your chance.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. You see? Sorry, order. It is sad. It is very sad what we are doing to ourselves. It's very, very sad. Why am I saying this?
did our rules anticipate COVID? Did our rules anticipate that there could be a disaster that could hit the whole world and bring the whole world to a standstill? In every civilized society and every parliament, PAP not exception, when you find yourself in this situation, the person who is president uses his discretion to make sure that the institution keeps moving. If you say this is contrary, I want those who are saying the current bureau or acting bureau should be dissolved so that we'll have a vacuum to refer us to our rules that says that when this happens, have a blank and let the staff take over. We don't have anything like that in our rules. And I'll be very happy to be guided. Yes, term expires, but it expires because of COVID. Why are you using nose masks? Take your nose masks out because of COVID. That is why you are using nose masks. Please, we have come this far. Like Honorable Malema said, we have an activity report. Let's allow the activity report to be read to tell us why we are where we are and where we want to go. Let no people who are very, very seen abusing our rules all of a sudden wake up to be making reference to the rules. Let them not do that. This is, we are sons and daughters of Africa. And let's allow cool heads to prevail. You break the rule when it suits you. I don't see any rule being broken. The simple reason is that for 1 year, all of us couldn't be here because of this pandemic.
Exactly.
Let's allow the activity report to be read and let us be told how this interim arrangement is being put. If we are all not satisfied with it, we'll take a collective decision. But let no anybody try to hijack the process. Let the process proceed. Thank you very much.
I think we need to make progress.
Yes.
We need to make progress.
No, President.
We need to make progress. Okay, babe, if you have a useful idea that can help us, I grant you the floor. Proceed. If you have some useful ideas which are better, help us. But why are you shouting? Are you saying she shouldn't take the floor? Why are you saying she shouldn't take the floor? She has the floor. Why are you shouting?
Monsieur le Président.
Honorable President, we are here representing our respective countries and
okay, so far what you see is the members of different countries, different regions are trying to disagree on something that is useless. What is supposed to be happening really is that there is a report that is outlined, that is going to outline what is going to be happening going forward. The report that is supposed to be read by the person that you can see that is a chairperson who is the current president, who's acting as a vice president now, but because they couldn't hold an election during the 2020 because of the COVID-19, as you may be heard. So now they are discussing now, sharing different views between the guy who was in charge, he must step down and leave because he's no longer a president, and others saying that the guy, no one has taken the guy out because there was no election, so no one is the current president now, so that the ship will have no captain. So this is what is happening. So they are just wasting each other's time, arguing with that. So yeah, let's just watch and see what's going to happen, because I haven't watched this video as well.
Representing Africa, I get the impression that the parliament is South Africa. A parliamentarian from South Africa saying that we should move forward. We did not come here to go for walks. We are here to follow our rules of procedure, and I support what Honorable Nkodo has said. If you are not meant to be sitting in the bureau, you need to resign. We are here, we've defined rules, and we are going to elect those who are going to continue with leading the Pan-African Parliament. It's not just for South Africa, it's for the entire continent. North, West, Central Africa, Eastern Africa, Southern Africa. But then there's a group of people that want to grab the Pan-African Parliament for themselves. And that is why I was asking for the floor. I come from West Africa, and I am supporting the candidacy of our West African candidate. Thank you.
Je demande la parole, Monsieur le Président.
Honorable President, could I please have the floor? Could I please have the floor, Honorable President?
So you can see that this just different views.
This is Lisa. She just recorded her first video interview.
Different opinions of what is really happening.
Oh, and then this happened.
With that happening, there are people who are from West Africa, right? Those are Mali, Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, and those are the people from Northern Africa, and then there's people from Southern Africa. So now it's just a battle between those, because people from West Africa have been in power in this parliament for so long, so they just keep on injecting themselves in there without giving other people from different regions to be in charge, as it has been happening throughout the countries as well. People who are in charge want to be in charge forever. So now we want to build Pan-Africanism into a proper structure that will unite Africans up to the point where we build one Africa with one currency. But now the way that things are happening, you can clearly see that everyone is one for himself. They are pushing for their own agendas. Everything is all about individuals or regions. Everything is all about taking charge and being in charge of what is the party or the organization all about. There is no best interest of the people at heart in all of these people who are talking here. Everyone wants just want to be in charge. So this is what I'm taking from here. Yeah, you are open to share your views in the comment and tell me what are you observing in here.
President, point of order.
Point of order.
Yes, President.
Point of order is a point of order. You are not debating, it's a point of order.
I want to respond to the last speaker.
Okay, you'll be given the floor. You'll be given the floor.
Point of order, President, may I speak?
No, you'll be given the floor, don't worry. You'll be given the floor. Let me move systematically. Those who have spoken, please, give others a chance. You have been heard. You can't be the only one to be heard all the time. There's a green shirt over there.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
But Honorable Roger, you are interrupting. We gave you the floor. Someone else is holding the floor. Someone else is holding the floor.
This is not your parliament.
I am giving the floor, Mr. President.
You are given a chance. You cannot think that you're going to us. You have your chance.
I am giving the floor.
You autocratically, Roger. You must stop it. You must just stop it now.
Okay, let us proceed. Right, and I want to say, please, it's unfortunate that the previous speaker said, I'm supporting this candidate. We are not here. This is an election. There are no candidates here. Let's talk about. Go ahead.
Mr. President, if we claim to be acting on matters of rules, not any political undertone, the question is, the rules applies that May 2020 we are supposed to be here.
Yes.
August committees were supposed to be here. And October plenary was supposed to be in session. Likewise in March committees were supposed to be here. If it is in the spirit of the rules, were we here in those months?
For commission.
were we here in those months? I think Honorable Muntaga rightly put it in the right perspective. The whole world was hijacked by the pandemic. That is a situation that actually made PAP to be paralyzed. I think the acting presidents who were running the affairs of the parliament need to be commended for the effort they've made to ensure that we were able to meet here once more, to ensure we put in place yet the new leadership that will steer the affairs of the parliament. We've been told that tomorrow is the day set for the election. And before us, we have the report to be presented. Let patiently wait and then go through the reports. If we are convinced what was made to make this arrangement for the interim bureau, and then for the move, for the new bureau to be elected tomorrow, we do by that. It's going to be premature to ask the bureau to step down and create a vacuum. Who will take over? Is it our staff to come and run the affairs of the parliament? We have only 1 day to go. Why can't we be patient and allow that course to be in progress? Please, for God's sake, if it's the rules, we know the pandemic has hijacked the rules. Otherwise, I will not say these rules, but this is a matter of political undertone.
We can't manage work like this. That's why.
So yeah, as you have seen in the
one, then I make a ruling.
What is really happening? It's now people keep on saying one thing. Others on the other side are saying that they understand why this gentleman is still in the brewer as a chairperson, and they understand that we've been all hit by COVID-19, and then he couldn't step down in the elections that were supposed to be held in 2020. But now others keep on saying that the rules are saying that he was supposed to be there for 4 years, and then the 4 years has passed, so he's not a legitimate a president or someone that should be in charge. But at the same time, there was no one that was elected to be there. So it's just that Mickey Mouse thing that doesn't make really sense. It's just now a test of strength. Who's much stronger, who's gonna lean, who's gonna remain. So yeah, let's just keep on watching and see what is really going on going forward.
The last one.
Non, monsieur.
The last one is not finished, Honorable President.
Il faut que l'on parle. Il faut que l'on parle. On est là.
We need to speak. We are here for that. We need to speak. Allow us to speak. Allow us to speak. He is not the last speaker. This is not normal.
He's taken the floor, eh? Don't interrupt others when they are given the floor.
Mr. President, I speak here not in supporting a region other than another region. I'm talking about the unity in Africa.
So I might not be really sure, but I think this one is speaking in Arabic. I should think so. He's not speaking in French, because I do recognize when someone is speaking in French. This one might be speaking in Arabic, because I think the person who's now in charge from West Africa actually understands French, so he's now putting on his headset to listen to the translation. So he's probably not speaking French. I'm 100% sure he's not speaking French.
Africa and in this parliament. we do regret that we don't need to listen to this fight between the MPs. We are not here talking on the name of a country or of a region, but we are here to speak for Africa. This continent unites all of us. We don't want to allow anyone to speak in the name of a region or a country. Honorable Roji Nkodo Dang, you were the former president of this parliament. You have made your name as a president, and we have celebrated when you took over from the late president from Nigeria. He gave to you the leadership of the parliament. We all were united despite all those elections and that took place. So I think you as well, you have to be able to accept the passation of the leadership from you to other MPs. We as the MPs, we have to work together and unite. We are the majority. The majority are those who are supporting the unity of this parliament and Africa. We are the majority here in this chamber. We have to take the responsibility to lead this parliament, to lead Africa, and not to give the chance for us to call over regions. We say that the COVID, the pandemic, was something that hit the world. So there's no one in particular who's responsible for the pandemic. We all were hit by it, and it had its impact all over the world. We were forced not to come here and do the meeting. So there was one of us who has been acting president and took the responsibility to lead us to this session and choose our new leadership. Thank you.
Monsieur le Président. Yes, I hear you.
Honorable President, point of order.
You need to know I'm a new president, new acting president. I don't point at you because you are bullying me. I think this has to be clear. I want people who respect the chair, and I'll give them a chance to speak. Some of you think that if I make noise, then I'll succumb to that. Because I don't succumb to noise. You raise up your hand in a disciplined manner, I point at you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Honorable President. Thank you, Honorable President. I would like to thank you for giving me the floor and not having succumbed to the noise. Honorable President, the issue that I'm raising is not putting into doubt the work of the Interim Bureau. We are here because of the efforts of that Bureau. And in all honesty, I would like to commend the Bureau for the work that was done and that made it possible for us to make progress today. In all countries around the world and in all democracies, there are substantive issues that the Interim Bureau cannot handle. Because what we're going to do today is going to engage the Bureau that is coming in and the Parliament. For instance, we're going to look at the gaps in terms of the rules of procedure of the PAP. There are substantive matters that the Interim Bureau cannot handle. We are not asking the Bureau to resign because they're not legitimate. We are saying that this Bureau, as an Interim Bureau, cannot handle these issues because these are issues that will commit us all. We all know that we're going to have an election tomorrow, and Honorable President, you are a candidate of that. Therefore, this Bureau needs to lead us to the elections, and the substantive issues of the Parliament will be handled by the new Bureau that will be legitimate and elected for the next 3 years. Thank you, Honorable President, and I hope that the Bureau agrees to not handle the substantive issues that will commit us all and to rather move.
This is Webflow. Meet the design tool.
So we probably see what is really going on. What is happening now is just that Mickey Mouse I was talking about of a matter of West versus East. Yeah, that. So This guy just sat down now. He's been talking about the same thing. They want to remove this guy so that they can get someone else who might be coming from their side, so that when the elections are being supposedly held on tomorrow, that I think they are referring for tomorrow, supposed to be on Tuesday, because this was on Monday. So when that time comes, so they think that what is going to happen is they want to put someone that is going to be talking their own language, which means that we'll listen to them. So yeah, let's just go on. Sorry.
That under force majeure, we convened the bureaucracies, chairpersons of committees and regional caucuses and their bureaus. And that is in terms of the rules itself. And they made decisions to enable us to get to where we are. We came up with a program which has enabled us to meet, which has enabled us to swear in. And I did make this point. If we had not done that, nobody would have been sworn in. Even those speaking here, they are speaking because this interim bureau enabled them to be sworn in. Now they get sworn in, they turn around against and say this is unlawful. So your swearing in was unlawful. You have not yet. Let's be very careful that right. What you?
On n'a pas dit que c'est illégal, Monsieur le Président. C'est pas ce que j'ai dit.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm not saying it's illegal. I am not saying it's illegal. I did not say it was illegal, President. But in clarifying, you need to say what I said. I did not even say it was illegal.
Remember, I gave you the floor, and when I'm speaking, you interrupt. When you are speaking, I interrupted you.
At the same time, I did not say.
Let's appear to be a parliament. But remember, there are no the issues that you want to defy. It's not the bureau that's deciding. When they say gaps, it is the plenary which is deciding, not the bureau. That's why the matter is being presented here. And this is leading to elections. And elections are just by our eyes. I don't see why we should waste time on this matter. We need to proceed. I'll come here and then I'll come over there, then I close. No, it's not. Honorable Roger, someone behind you. Honorable Roger, the person behind, not you.
Roger, sit down.
Not you.
Roger, sit down. Roger, sit down.
Roger.
Okay, guys, this is Roger. Yeah, I think Roger is making this parliament ungovernable. Roger has got his point, and he did speak on the beginning of this video, as you heard, and he was the one that was coming with the first point of Western African guys, that this guy must leave because this parliament is not legitimate, because it was supposed to be ended in 2020, and now it's 2021, and he has passed his term of 4 years. So yeah, he's the guy that he keeps on wanting to talk while he already talked, and no one wants him to talk. So yeah.
Sit down. Roger, sit down. Roger, sit down. Sit down. Roger, sit down. You cannot. Roger, sit down. Roger, sit down. You chaired us for so many years yourself. We were listening to you when you were chairing.
Brought it to the plenary. We were all supposed to talk.
We were listening to you and worshiping you like God yourself. Now you cannot respect somebody else, Roger. Come on.
Order in the chamber, please. Go ahead.
Mr. President, you took some of the words from my mouth. The issue is we don't need selective application of the rules. When they suit us, we take. When they suit everybody, you want to destroy that. We are here to elect when the time comes to elect. There is no need for anybody to start campaigning. We just need to get to the elections. And the processes, reports that are going to be presented here, we will debate them and give our opinion. At this stage, we know very well, one of these people who are talking a lot here led this parliament as a dictator. We tolerated that. We tolerated that because we wanted Africa to remain united. This is not an institution for individuals. This is an institution for Africa. We are here to debate and ensure we move forward as a united Africa, not individuals who are here to scuttle and be kingmakers of this institution. This is an African parliament. Let African programs proceed. COVID was there. Nobody wanted COVID. The decisions that were made to allow this Bureau to proceed will be given to us from the report. Let's wait for that.
That's true. Hello, yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and sorry, Mr. President.
Sorry, you should rise.
Sorry, Mr. President.
Talking about the same things. So yeah, let's listen to this one.
Following this debate with a lot of concern and interest. First, let me tell you, Mr. President, that I'm a lawyer. And not only that I'm a lawyer, I've spent the best part of my life practicing law. And I know in constitutionalism, the rule is that power to create is synonymous with power to destroy. The power of this parliament rests with this session. I have not seen any person here who, on the fateful day that he took the oath of office, says that he wasn't going to take the oath of office because the term of the Bureau has expired. We were forced into circumstances. Those circumstances brought us here. We are midwifing a process that will lead to the establishment of a properly constituted Bureau. And the process has started. And you cannot, on one hand, accept the process that gives you legitimacy, and on the other hand, refuse to accept that which does not give you political age. That is unfair. Let me say that, for whatever reason, the entire session must be very careful. Reason being that there are some people who, in their wisdom or lack of it, have started holding themselves in this institution as it is either their That is unfair. Let me say that, for whatever reason, the entire session must be very careful. Reason being that there are some people who, in their wisdom or lack of it, have started holding themselves in this institution as it is either their way or the highway. We must resist that with all the authorities that we have from the country we are coming from. Let us not, for any reason whatsoever, condone, admit acts and conduct that have the capacity to destroy this parliament. We will not do that. Those of us who decided that we will offer honest, responsible leadership are interested in seeing that this parliament is turned into a parliament for which Africa can benefit as a continent. So for God's sake, take your politics home. When you come here, we are talking of Africa, and we are all on equal footing. Thank you very much.
I now rule that we proceed with the activity report.
President.
Mr. President.
Presidente.
Não.
Presidente, eu quero pedir favor.
Não quero que esse parlamento se transforme.
I would like to beg your indulgence. We need to have order.
Okay, so the president is not indulging anyone. He just decided now that we're gonna read the report. So this is what I want us to listen to. So the chaos has erupted and all that had happened.
Mr. Malema,
so please listen
we've
to
seen
this after what has
Parliament try
happened.
to get underway to vote in a new president into this Parliament. Once more descended into chaos. Are you disappointed by what we have seen over the past couple of days?
Yes, I'm disappointed by the fact that people don't want to comply with the instructions from the AU. We are the organ of the AU. We must comply with the AU principle on rotation. If we resolve the issue of rotation, we're done. Because elections will then be very small item on the bigger agenda of trying to correct.
I'm sorry about the internet. It's been behaving really bad, so
the wrongs
bear
of
with
the
that.
continent. Because we'll know the next in line is this region. They must go and sort themselves out. And then they'll come and present to us who's next. That's all. So by refusing to comply with that rotation, you are consuming a lot of time on elections, which is unnecessary. Because if the agenda is to unite the continent, we must apply the principles that are uniting the continent.
Why is this rotational system so important? Roger was saying that, well, elections must just get underway as normal. People from all the African countries need to vote together, and this rotational system really is not that important, but rather to see elections get underway. Why should this rotation system be implemented?
It's a principle that will unify the continent. If you have not taken anyone's money and you are not serving other interests, you cannot disagree with a principle that will unite the continent. Since the establishment of this PAP, the North and the South have never occupied the position of president. He, Roger, himself, occupied it twice. Came in as acting president, elected president first term, second term president. He kept on saying the next election we are implementing rotation. Every time we come here, he tells us the same thing. And we have been so polite, we have been so modest, we have been understanding. And today when they came and started to make fool of us, we then had to show them that we can as well degenerate like them and take them to task about this matter. The AU wrote a letter, said any election that is not based on rotation, it will be illegal. They ignore it. They say it's an opinion. But Roger forgets that this clerk who's presiding over this house, he suspended him illegally. We wrote to the same legal counsel of the AU. They wrote a letter back and said he must be reinstated. And they wrote that's an AU opinion. It was binding on us. We reinstated the clerk. The clerk wrote a second letter now to ask for an opinion. The legal counsel said to him, we are the only authority when it comes to the organs of the AU. And the letter we wrote earlier is binding, you must follow it. Anything outside that will be illegal. They are insulting the AU, they're insulting the letter of the AU. They say we don't need AU, we are PAP, we can do our own thing. But they're an organ of AU and they must comply with AU principles.
Will you be asking for the AU once more to intervene? They've tried to intervene through this letter saying that the rotation system needs to get underway. You as MPs in this parliament, will you be reaching out to the AU?
We want the clerk to write to, 1, adjourn this to October. 2, ask the AU to facilitate the reconvening of this meeting. 3, they must come and preside over the elections. And they will tell us when they read the procedure what is going to be followed in those elections. 4, Mali must not sit here because AU has just disqualified them. Therefore, they don't qualify to sit in PAP. Some of the delegates, the candidates here, have been using money, and that's why they don't resign. They've taken people's monies. Why would we have a problem when the two of us are disagreeing and we say, let's call someone senior to come and help us to have an understanding?
As you are listening here to Malema, President Julius Malema of the EFF, you can see the video is showing what is happening on Tuesday on what has transpired during the day of the election. So election never took place. It was erupted due to a lot of reasons, which one of them is what Malema is trying to explain now, that there must be a rotation for this this process of electing being legitimate, so that they will know that if the president is coming from the West Africa, next time is from the north, and the next time is from the east, north, and southern, as he explained. But this is what they don't want in the Western Africa, because they've been in this presidency, they've been detecting, they've been eating mine, so they want to spend the rest of their lives in that positions. So just also while we are listening to my, just watch on the other side and see what was really happening.
Of how we should proceed, they refuse. They've parked a jet there for 2 weeks at OR Tambo. How do you park a jet at OR Tambo for 2 weeks? They went to Mercedes-Benz to rent the V-classes. They've been asking for Mercedes-Benz to organize Maybachs for them to drive delegates around. So they are not listening, because they've taken people's monies, and anything reasonable, they don't want to comply with it. Why would you defy AU if you are part of the organs of the AU?
Where does this leave African unity? When this parliament was opened this year, Thandi Modise called on for African unity, and you know the scenes which have played out over the past couple of days, just for a number of South Africans and Africans, it seems as if, well, it's just a dream.
In the same speech, Thandi Modise spoke about rotation, and when she spoke about rotation, they mumbled. They were on the edge of disrupting her, because that's how they are. They don't listen to anyone. We will achieve African unity. It must be unity of purpose, unity in action, based on principles that will unite the continent. Not mechanical unity, not artificial unity for the sake of unity. It is out of this robustness that African brothers will appreciate each other, and they will be in a position to know one another. And it is out of this that unity of Africa will come. So we want unity that comes.
I like what he's saying here. It makes sense, so that we cannot force unity, and we cannot paint whatever is happening as unity, whereas it is not unity. So we must try to engage and make sure that we are all in the same understanding of what must happen and what must not happen. People who are not in the same agreement, they must just fall out and wait for and watch the train goes until we find the way of working together as Africans. These things need to happen for to polish this rotten parliament, to make sure that everyone is on the same boat, the rules are being applied, and then the rotation is also in place. So I like what he's saying. We don't want to sell a fake unity. We want the unity that is being fought for, through thick and thin, like what is really happening there. That fight is necessary, so that we will achieve what the goals that we want for Pan-Africans united in Africa by Africans.
Comes out of serious engagement, and not unity that is informed by money, that I got the money and therefore let me keep quiet. That's not us.
There's been talk of Francophone African countries trying to hold on to this position, and it seems as if Anglophone Africa and Francophone Africa seem to be at war with each other. What do you have to say to those comments?
Well, we are not at war with Francophones. They seem to be in war with us. One of them said this parliament must be relocated. And when he was asked, as we were shouting at each other there, where are you relocating parliament? He said, no, we can take it to France. Because they see themselves as French. They worship the symbols of France. And we are not worshippers of the symbols of Britain. We carry no mandate of Britain. We don't see ourselves as British. Even under colonialism, we've never seen ourselves as British. So it's a problem that we need to deal with. But what makes me appreciate that there is some light at the end of the tunnel is when they say we are the same generation, Malema. Let's not be divided on the basis of those who came before us. That's when we now start to establish, a process of engagement and saying, guys, we cannot be divided based on the language of the colonialist. We must be divided on ideas which are trying to resolve the problems that Africans are facing.
We cannot be divided in terms of the language of the colonialist. We can be divided on ideas. If you did catch that, that makes sense. That makes sense because now there seems to be a problem between the French speaking and the English speaking, or the rest of other language speaking. So it's not a matter of ideas now, it's a matter of the language. The languages that came with the oppressors to us. So that makes sense. It really makes sense.
Not because I speak French, not because I speak English, but because we are seeking the best solution for the continent. If we can agree on rotation, I'm telling you now, the issue of elections will be insignificant. Every time we come here in an assembly, we have a problem of elections. There's always a fight on elections. There's always a fight on rotation. Roger, who has been central, suppressing us here, So now he's gone, and he wants to lead from the grave. We're not going to allow that.
Lastly, Mr. Malema, what do you have to say to concerns that, this image has created for the African continent as people who can't come together and as people who can't see eye to eye?
It's not true. We have come together. We're disagreeing. And we're disagreeing to agree. And they will find solution. And that solution will be African solution. And it will be a lasting solution. Parliament, by its own nature, it must be robust. It must engage. We must avoid, by all means, violence, especially when it's meted against women. We ought to be very sensitive about that. But the robustness of the debates, which sometimes come across as if it's a fight, is necessary if we are going to build a parliament with biting teeth. That's what we are trying to do here. We are still at an infant stage. We want this parliament to have legislative powers which will bind on countries after they've ratified the protocol, and that parliament will be one parliament that will unite Africa.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, so yeah, man, that's it for this episode. We did have quite stuff that was going on in the Parliament of Pan-Africans. So yeah, I hope you're gonna go and just dig in. There's this old long video that you can check. It's I think it's 5 hours of video. You can check it out, man. I'll leave the link for you to check it and just watch what was going on in there. So yeah, just hit like in FKU Africa podcast, and make sure that you subscribe if you have not. Fikiria kwa undani, ndugu, Kamagu. You know what you do if you're not feeling well and you're feeling like you are down, the world is coming over your shoulders. What you need to do, breathe 3 times, and just keep that smile in your face and tell yourself that you are good and you will be fine. Everything is gonna work out. Don't forget to smile. It makes you feel really, really better if you smile.